Hi, I'm David with Furia Labs. So if you're using the CodeBot competition library, the first thing you're going to need to do is load it onto your CodeBot. And so I'm going to show you real quick how to do that, and we'll try it with both the CB3 CodeBot and the CB2. So whichever kind you have, we're going to fix you up. Okay, so I'm going to start with a CB3 CodeBot, and you can tell it's a CB3 because it's marked up here on this corner on the PC board, and also there's a silver can on the CPU module. So with our CB3, we're going to use a USB-C cable, plug it into my computer, plug it into my CodeBot. On my computer, I will see a window pop up. It looks just like if you plugged a flash drive in. On the CB3, we're going to put the library into a folder called lib, L-I-B. That stands for library, crazy enough. I'm going to open that. There's nothing in the folder right now, but I'm going to go over to another folder on my hard drive where I've downloaded the CodeBot competition library. And there's 2 files currently in the library, so by the time you watch this, there may be more files. For now, I'm going to select them. I'm going to drag them over to that lib folder on my CodeBot. Let's see what happens. The disk is write protected. All right, it's not really a disk. Don't worry, that's just, that's the old days. But the problem is it's write protected. What's up with that? Well, the deal here is the CodeBot has to be put into writable mode. So on the CB3, you can't just drag a file over unless you do something special to the CodeBot. So I'm going to show you how to do that. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to hold down button 1 and then press reboot. A couple of flashes of the light, cute sound, and then let go, button 1. Hold button 1 too long, and it's going to reformat the flash on the CPU, which is not what we want. We want to just let it go halfway until it makes a cute beeping sound. And now the drive pops up again, and this time we're going to descend into the lib directory, go over, get our 2 or more CodeBot competition library files, copy them over, and hey look, they actually made it over there. Okay. So that's awesome. So now I've got the competition library loaded in my CodeBot. We're going to do the same thing with a CB2 CodeBot just to show you how that works, and then we'll go on to testing this out. Before you use one of these libraries that you've loaded on this way, you do have to reboot your bot. So you have to press the reboot button, and that'll actually restart so that it knows those libraries are loaded on there. And you see also you can confirm when the file directory comes back up, those files are there just where you left them. My CB3 CodeBot I'm unplugging, I'm grabbing my CB2. So the CB2 has a micro USB connector. We're going to use a different cable, plug it into it, plug that into our computer. By the way, notice I've got the switch in the USB setting on my CodeBots. So it pops up as a flash drive. You can notice there's not a lib folder on the CB2, and we don't have to do something special to boot it up in writable mode. It's automatically writable. So I'm just going to take those files from the competition library, drag them over, and drop them on the CodeBot. And as you can see, they copy right over. I'm going to give it a few seconds. I can see that they're there, but I want to make sure they're really there. I'm going to try, just as a test, unplugging. Flash drive goes away. Plug back in, just make sure my files really got over there. I might have to try that again if they don't really show up. But I see those 2 files, in this case botlib and botdemo, show up just fine. So now I've got the code loaded onto my CodeBot. So now that I've done that, I can actually come over to CodeSpace and take it for a test drive. Let's try that on the CB3. So here in CodeSpace, I have a little line following program that's loaded up. And now that I've got the library loaded, I should be able to import that new module, that botdemo module. So let's try running this code. Easy line follow is what this code is called. It's now loaded up, it does get loaded, and now it's waiting. You notice the 3 things this is doing. It's checking for the battery, just to see if the battery is healthy, and that lights up an LED. I'll show you that in a second. And then it enables the motors, and it just calls a function called bot line follow. How easy is that? So 3 lines of code, and supposedly this is waiting to do some line following for me. Well, in another video, we'll talk about what bot line follow does, but for now, let's unplug this, switch to batteries, and then actually try it on our little test ground. So I've got my CodeBot ready to test. Turn the switch to battery, because I've got batteries loaded. This LED, there's a red LED right above the battery indicator. So you can look at the code and it'll show you that it will blink twice if the battery is weak or in sort of the middle of its range, and then it'll continue to blink as it's low. The other thing that's happening is when I call that line follow function, the bot line follow, it makes this line sensor LED number 2 blinks constantly, the green LED there. And what that's telling you is it's waiting for you to calibrate the line. I really need to center that onto my line here, and then it'll compare line sensor 2 to line sensor 0 to measure the contrast. It's waiting for me to press that 0. And once it's done the calibration, it's going to start following the line. So you can see, line follow is working. That means our library is loaded correctly. Awesome job, CodeBot.